guitar people, welcome to Have Guitar Will Travel, presented by Vintage Guitar Magazine, with your host, me, James Patrick Regan, otherwise known as Jimmy from the Deadlies, and today I'm speaking with guitarist, bassist, and singer Brian Ray. In our conversation, Brian tells us about his current tour with Paul McCartney and his Gibson models, as well as his vintage yet eclectic guitar collection, guitars with special features and odd colors. Brian tells us about his friend Steve Conte and their project Earls of Babylon and the resulting EP, and Brian discusses his love for garage rock and gives us a quick history. Brian takes us through his musical and childhood journey in LA, traveling with his sister who was in a band and performing throughout the area, himself performing at the Troubadour at the age of 15. Brian discusses starting on drums and his red Sparkle Rogers kit and his first real guitar, a Telecaster, and then a gold-top Gibson Les Paul played through an Ampeg V4. Brian describes his career highlights playing guitar for Bobby Pickett from the Monster Mash, Etta James, Rita Coolidge, Johnny Holiday, and of course Paul McCartney, and writing songs for Smokey Robinson. Brian talks about his touring gear throughout the years, including what he's currently using and the techs he uses to keep his gear up. Finally, Brian tells us about his hot rod and his love of car shows. To find out more about Brian, you can go to his website, brianray.com. That's BRIANRAY.com. And you can find the music of the Earls of Babylon wherever you stream music. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and most of all, review this podcast. I really appreciate it. And please support Vintage Guitar Magazine and all the wonderful things they do for us guitar players, because they do so many wonderful things for us guitar players. Here's my friend Brian. Hey there, Brian.
Hey, how you doing, James?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm good.
Good. So you played on Saturday night, is that correct?
We did indeed.
Where was that at?
In Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
At the Allegiant Super Mega Ultra Dome.
Okay. Let me ask you this: Did you sleep in your bed that night?
No, I did not. I slept in a hotel in Las Vegas.
Is it? How often do you end up sleeping in your own bed when you guys play?
On tour, it's it changes every tour. Sometimes we travel more with Paul, and sometimes we travel commercial or buses, and this is a combination of all those things.
Okay.
There's no rhyme or no reason, to be honest with you.
And are you at your home right now?
No, I am not. Now I'm at another hotel.
Oh, okay, very good. Where are you at?
I'm in Albuquerque.
Okay. Are you guys playing there tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah, tomorrow night. Yeah.
Very good.
Sure are.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. I talked to Rosie Flores just a few days ago, and I asked her if there was any guitars that she lusted after, and she said all of your guitars.
Well, she's an old friend, and she's got good taste then. I don't have the largest collection, but I've always been attracted to unusual, cool, rare guitars, like a guitar that we've all known and loved, but with an unusual finish or an unusual configuration. I just like that stuff. It just triggers my collector dude mind.
Sure. And is that how you came up with your custom SGs for Gibson?
Well, there were aspects of those guitars that I either wanted to see in a guitar model that was never done, or in the case of both of them, they hadn't done a guitar. Gibson hadn't done a guitar with an ebony block tailpiece since 1962.
Wow. And
they did it a lot in 1962, and they were cool as hell.
Sure.
And I was, looking to do something like that, and we did it on the second BRSG Junior, the 62 SG Junior.
The white one.
Now, with the ebony block in the white color, yeah. And that's a very tricky guitar. It's like you can change it into a wraparound, and you can use it as a stop tail. You can do a lot with that guitar.
Okay. And did Gibson produce a lot of them?
I don't know the number, but I know we broke through their original goal with both guitars, and they had to come back and say, would you be interested in extending this? And of course I said yes.
Of course, yeah. They're both slick guitars, both of them.
Yeah, and in the case of the BRSG 63 SG, It had some cool features to it, like the push-push series parallel volume controls, but not just that. That finish, the silver fox finish, had never been shot by Gibson. That was a Epiphone color.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I thought that would look really cool on an SG because I have an old Casino in that rare color, which is a very strange and rare guitar and cool. Anyway, both of those guitars, I'm just really happy and fortunate to have been a part of those.
Yeah, and Gibson approached you to do those?
Yeah, they sure did.
Right on.
Yeah, it's not like I can go and call them and say, I think you should do a signature model.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, in the case of both the Silver Fox finish and the Ebony block, they didn't know how to shoot those in this present day. Those were old finishes.
Wow.
And the technology for it, the system for it, had gone away. So they had to sort of research it and do a lot of trial and error until we came up with the winning formulas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. How long have you known Steve Conte?
Steve Conte, since about, maybe we met in around 2017.
Oh, okay. So fairly recently.
I saw him on, heard him on the radio, saw that he was a label mate at Wicked Cool. I believe he was at that time as well. Uh-huh. And I really liked his material, his voice, his guitar playing. I liked his sensibilities. And I just reached out to him and said, man, hey, great work, really digging this. Hey, we got to, meet up sometime. And then I was playing with Paul in Long Island, I believe, around that time.
Okay.
When we did a tour of all the boroughs. Uh-huh. I invited him to come down, just, see the show, and great to hang out with him. And I said that thing that we often say, we got to do something sometime. And people never do. And I just kept reaching out to him and said, we got to do something. And we actually did it.
Right
and then went about, deciding that it would be a sort of a side project, pop-up band of sorts, and that we would come up with its own identity, different from our solo identities.
Sure.
And come up with a band name. And so that's what we did. We came up with a band name, and that was a collaboration. He came up with a really great idea. We had a lot of good titles. Uh-huh. We wanted to stay in that sort of garage rock, that the Shadows of Night, the of kind of titles, band name.
Yeah.
And so he came up. I was thinking Earls. Earls. He said, how about the Earls of Avalon? And I thought that was so cool. I said, yeah, I'm in. He goes, no, I think it's a little too airy-fairy. I said, well, then how about the Earls of Babylon? And he said, I'm in. And it was that easy. So a real collaboration.
Yeah, right on. And had you worked with Charlie Drayton before?
I had not, but he had.
Uh-huh.
And I was, a big fan of Charlie's from back in the day, seeing him with the Divinals.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, and then, of course, with the Expensive Winos, that stellar performance of Take It So Hard on Saturday Night Live was just like, fuck, this is next level. So, really, really happy to get to work with him. And he was a pleasure and quick and, really contributed a lot of spirit.
Sure. I show that video, the Saturday Night Live video, to my drummer friends and just tell them conviction. This is what conviction looks like.
Hey, that's a great way of putting it. It's certainly right.
Yeah. It can't be any more garage than having a Halloween theme song.
Right? That's how we entered the stage, as it were. Yeah. Well, that song didn't start as a Halloween song. It started as an homage to the writing of and a celebration of garage rock music, which, your viewers may know a little bit about. But my take on it is garage rock is an American invention, and our musical response to the British invasion music.
Yeah.
So here's how it went. We created jazz and blues here in the U.S. They saw it and heard it, and they took it and rock and roll here. It got over there via pirate radio, and they started loving our American blues and rock and roll, rockabilly, car music, all of it. And they fed it back to us via the Animals, the Stones, the Beatles, the Kinks, the Who, all sorts of bands. Just fed it back to us, their interpretation of what we had done, in a way, with their own influences, you know.
Yeah.
And then we, in response to that, said, well, here's our version of your version of our music. And we did sort of a rowdy, almost cheaper kind of take on our old rhythm and blues music through their eyes. It's so funny. It's really, it's a volley across the ocean to me. And, you know, bands like the Knickerbockers and, you know, Question Mark and the Mysterians, you know, the Animals sounded a lot like, you know, the Sonics, you know.
Exactly.
And of course, Paul Revere and the Raiders, you know. So we had our own, you know, American invasion.
Yep, absolutely. And so you invited Steve to come see you when you were in New York. Did you go see Steve when he was in L.A. with Michael Monroe?
I didn't get to see that. No, I wasn't available. I think I was out in the desert when they played. I missed that one, but yeah.
That's something to be seen for sure, if you haven't had the opportunity.
I've heard, Michael's a consummate front man, and you know, Steve in any band is going to be good.
Yeah. You grew up in Southern California?
I did, yeah. I was born at the Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital, which is now a Scientology center. And I'm not a Scientologist. I was born there before they changed it. And then, and then we moved to, we lived in Glendale, which I tell people, if they don't know, is the gateway to Burbank. And I lived there till I was about, I guess I was about 10, 11 when we moved out, right when garage rock hit its stride.
Yeah.
And moved out to the beach area and lived there until I left home at, 18 or whatever.
What was, do you have recollections of what Hollywood was like when you were a kid?
Well, more about what Glendale was like as a kid. Okay. So, when I grew up, I'm a little bit older. So what I was around as a kid was the advent of rock and roll. I was born in 55. So I was exposed to rock and roll 45s and media and photos of these great progenitors of rock and roll, of Elvis, Little Richard, Everly Brothers, Jerry Lee Lewis, all of that stuff by the time I was 3 years old.
Wow.
So I knew then and there that that's what I wanted to do in my life. It's crazy that I got to do it, but that's where I was at. That's where my head was at. But it was also informed by the culture of the time, as sort of portrayed in American Graffiti. It was very much that. Bob's Big Boy with hot rods everywhere, and the OG hot rods, the old 32 deuce coupes and the 44s and the 49 4, all these great cars that are still the coolest cars ever made.
Oh yeah.
And they all had names. There comes the purple wagon. They all had their little names in town, and it was like, it was rock and roll. I was born into a rock and roll town.
Right on.
Very much celebrated by culture and fashion. Dudes wore T-shirts with the sleeves rolled up and the cigarette pack in it and Levi's. It just, that's what I was around.
Yeah. And were your parents musical? How did you end up playing guitar?
My parents were musical. My mom and dad both played a bit of piano and sang, and we had a record cutting lathe and playback turntable at home in a little suitcase.
Wow.
Then I go to Sun Records Museum, and there it is in the case, identical, a tweed covered case.
Yeah.
And Sam Phillips used to go door to door with it and record demos in your home of you.
Wow.
What a great way to start, his reign as the guy who introduced, sort of black music to white audiences vis-a-vis a few artists that could pull it off.
Sure.
And so they were musical. And then I have a sister who's no longer with us, who was a folk rocker, and her name was Jean Ray. She was in a folk duet called Jim and Jean.
Okay.
And as a kid, I would go to their shows, and I just worshiped them. They were very musical. They were politically forward, and so I was exposed to that side of their where they were coming from, and very encouraged by them to do it. I didn't know that the odds are against me. I just did it anyway.
Yeah.
And later when Jim and Jean split up, I played with my sister Jean on stage, my first professional shows at Hollywood Troubadour.
Wow.
Doug Weston's Troubadour.
Sure.
Very memorable at age 15,
Wow.
And then went on from there and, started to believe in myself because other people believed in me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Were you exposed to other bands playing at the Troubadour or the Whiskey or any of those places?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was another club called the Ash Grove. It's, less than a mile away from the Troubadour.
Okay.
Now it's the Improv.
Okay.
But the room is very much the same brick wall, the same small room. I don't know, what is it, maybe 150, 200 people max.
Yeah.
But that place used to get the most interesting, diverse bills. You would have Taj Mahal with Jim and Jean opening. Wow. You would have Tim Hardin opening for Sonny Brown and Terry McGee.
Wow.
Do I have that name right? Anyway.
Yeah.
And then, you would have always folkers with blues musicians all the time. So really two different kind of experiences in the same night, which all felt very much sort of integrated at the time. And I loved it. I got to see Taj Mahal's early band with Jesse Ed Davis.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was the best.
Yeah. And how about, you were probably too young to see anything like rock related, like the first wave, I'm thinking like the Yardbirds. Well, there's the Beatles, but what about? Did you see the Doors or anything like that?
I sure did, yeah. That's just a little later when I moved to the beach area.
Okay.
We had this great auditorium there called the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, which is famous for being where they shot the Tammy Show.
Yeah.
And where they shot footage for other films, and where David Bowie's live album that's so great was recorded, where I believe he announced he was retiring the Spiders from Mars or something. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, so between the ages of 9 and 12, I was a little too young to go out to my own concerts. So most of my exposure were clubs that Jim and Jean were playing at, as I said, where I would go, just tag along with them as a kid, 9 years old. Wow. Meeting Albert King at 9, 10 years old. Mind blower, you know. Or maybe I was a little older than that then. But in any case, And next phase after that, I would go to the Santa Monica Civic when I was 12 or 13. I would just talk my parents into letting me go. Yeah. And I saw the Doors in '67 when they were still rocking the first album. They were brand new. Yeah. I saw Leslie Weston Mountain with Felix Pappalardi on bass. I saw Eric Burdon and the Animals. I saw Jethro Tull.
Wow.
I saw Albert Collins there, Albert King. All of these people came to the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. I must have been a frequent flyer there, man. I was there all the time.
Right on.
And really got a lot out of that time period.
Sure.
My next big one was, I'm just reminded of this. Before I started going to the Civic, my late sister Jean, who I told you about, one day said, "Hey, do you want to go to the Hollywood Bowl? There's this really great guitar player playing." And I said, "Sure, I'd love to." Uh-huh. So we drove down there in her little, VW Beetle, and it was the Mamas and the Papas with this new guy named Jimi Hendrix
Oh
opening.
my God.
And there I was at 12 years old at the Hollywood Bowl watching him, explode onto the stage just a month after Monterey Pop Festival.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah, very lucky to have seen it.
Yeah. And were you drawn to guitar from the outset?
Yes, I was, although I had a dalliance with drums and keyboards and lead vocals all kind of at the same time. Like, I remember going to the music stores of Santa Monica. I would take the bus down there and go from one to the other. And I was fascinated with, because the Doors were just out. So I wanted to get an electric, organ, like a Farfisa or a Rheem Halophone or anything, whatever looked cool. And then, of course, at the same time, guitars. And I was fascinated with drums. I already had a drum set. So I played along to the Doors records. I was just musical. I was just into it.
Yeah. Do you remember what your drum set was back then?
I sure do. It was I think a 1964 Rogers Holiday kit, 4-piece kit with 2 cymbals and a hi-hat, in red sparkle.
Oh my goodness!
Given to me by my old neighbors for Christmas.
Right on. And do you still have it or no?
I don't. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I think my parents were all too happy to let me let go of that because it was set up in the media room and library, facing the stereo, ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about your guitar? What was your first guitar?
My first guitar was a $5 nylon string guitar purchased by my sister and her then husband, Jim, while crossing the border in Tijuana.
Okay.
One of those border guitars, or purchased in Tijuana. That's how I remember it. But of course, it could very well have been just the streets of Tijuana.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. It wasn't a great guitar, but it was everything to me.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. How about your first real guitar, quote unquote?
My first real guitar was an old Telecaster. I don't know what year, but that got stolen. My next electric guitar after that was a 68 Gibson Les Paul Gold Top.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was doing pretty good. That thing must have cost $300.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And what did you use for an amp back then?
That's a good question. I don't remember what my first amp was, but soon after in my high school bands, I got loud ones. Okay. I got an Ampeg V4.
Yeah.
So loud. My high school band was ferocious.
Yeah. And did you? So you started playing in bands right at high school, or before that?
In junior high, I started working with my then best friend Brian England, who was the son of Cloris Leachman, the actress.
Oh yeah, of course.
And a talented kid, no longer with us as well, sadly. But talented kid, and he had a double kick, double drum set. And his drums were flashier than mine, and he was a flashier drummer. I had already been playing guitar, so it was clear that I should move over to guitar, and I wanted to.
Yeah.
And so we had the makings of a good garage band right off the bat in 8th grade.
Wow. Yeah. That's cool. And did you guys play around?
We played tons of keggers, junior high and high school parties. We had a practice room at his family's home, and really eclectic group of songs. We would do a few of the things you'd expect at a party band, but we did all these deep tracks. We were into Procol Harum. We would do all these wacky tracks, and it was a good little band, and we were called the Master Beats.
Very cool. And so when you graduated high school, did you go to music school, or did you go to college, regular college?
I did neither. I started playing guitar kind of self-taught. I learned from my brother who got lessons
Okay.
and lost interest in it. And he just showed me what he knew.
Yeah.
And I just started going from there, literally making shit up, making up chords and stuff. And just, if I put my finger there, it sounds cool. Just kind of like that. Kind of still how I play. In regards to college, I didn't really have any goal to go to college, so I was really happy to be offered a job in music right out of high school.
Wow.
Playing for some guy out of Cleveland whose father was kind of buying him a career. We did an album with great players, Hal Blaine on drums.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know, I'm 17, something like that. And then so that went for about a year, and I did a tour with Bobby Boris Pickett as one of the Crypt Kicker Five doing the Monster Mash, using some of my high school band as the band.
Okay.
And that bled right. Go ahead.
When you say a tour, like, was it a real tour?
Yeah, proper tour. We did like about 8 dates.
Wow. Okay.
We did like Six Flags over here and there.
Yeah.
And some other, seasonal stuff. Because he was now, it was so famous for that one song and the B-side.
Yeah.
Monster Mash and Me and My Mummy. And then soon after that, a guy who I had met through those bands asked me if I wanted to go and see Etta James singing at the Troubadour. I said, yeah, I've heard her. She's amazing. So he brought me down there. He had been road managing. She takes me up to meet him. This is Phil Kaufman.
Okay. Oh, yeah, of course.
Graham Parsons fame.
Yeah.
Look it up, people. And he had become my best friend. And
oh, really?
Yeah, really good friend.
Yeah.
And he asked me if I wanted to go and see Etta. I went with him, saw the show, met Etta, and was invited to go to a rehearsal of hers, just, subbing for a guitar player who couldn't make it.
Okay.
I went to that, and I was a little greenhorn, a little bit out of my depths there.
Yeah.
But she saw something in me and invited me to come and do a gig with her the next night.
Wow.
In Long Beach. And she said to Phil, I like that little white kid. And I was on stage with her the next night, and that turned into 15 years as her musical director.
Wow. So you meet her, and then you're doing a gig the next night. How did you have to woodshed all those songs?
Not that first time.
Okay.
Those were mostly songs that were just in our bloodstream, in the vernacular at that point. Like we would all know them, just blues standards, a little bit of funk.
Yeah.
And, but soon after that, she wanted me to join her.
Oh, yeah.
And I did need to learn a lot of stuff, and that included learning some more sort of involved jazz chords, extensions on jazz chords to play things like, At Last,
yes.
Trust in Me, Sunday Kind of Love, Stop the Wedding, My Dearest Darling, all of those sort of early jazz pop hits that she did in 60, whenever that was, along with her funk and blues.
Yeah. So
it was a great education, and it was great to be in a band where I was so bonded with Etta, so bonded to her music, and how much she relied on me, believed in me, and encouraged me as a young cat.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean going from Monster Mash songs to At Last, like, did you have to study? I mean, did you really have to woodshed those songs?
Yes, I sure did.
And were you stressing it?
I was lucky to get some charts and some medley charts from the previous guitar player, great session guy named Ben Benet.
Okay.
And Ben was in her band at the Troubadour, where I saw her.
All right.
And he just sort of passed the torch to me because he was busy doing sessions, probably wasn't going to go touring.
Yeah.
And here I was, a young greenhorn, more than willing to go pack up and leave. Are you kidding me? It's a dream come true.
Sure.
So
Were you reading
off we
charts on
went.
stage? Sorry, I don't mean to.
No, not at all. Maybe the first couple gigs, but then I just absorbed it,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be able to face the band and help lead dynamics,
Yeah.
which changed night to night with her.
Yes.
She would put up her hand, and you needed to come down,
Yeah.
or you'd get a wet face towel in your face.
What were you using for gear when you first started with her?
Well, by that time, in 1973, I had purchased a 1957 gold top Les Paul.
Okay.
And it was $850, which was an outrageous amount for an 18-year-old kid. But of course, now I'm very happy I got it at any price. But yeah, so I used that and an old blonde Bassman combo.
Okay.
Top and bottom, I mean. And
of course.
And that was my main amp for a good while, just straight in before I cared about or wanted to be involved with pedals.
Uh-huh.
And then it grew to a little, whatever, a Boss SD1 and a Roland chorus,
Yeah.
That was the extent of my rig with her forever.
Okay.
I may have had a little Sesame pedal board towards the end, but basically it was just, straight in. Few songs had a few effects. That's all.
Yeah. Were you guys traveling in the bus? Sorry.
Oh, no, not at all. At first, we were traveling in her. When I first joined, we would put together bands in various cities we would go to.
Okay.
So the promoter would hire local musicians in like Santa Barbara, San Diego, and I would do a sound check with them and lead them through the songs.
Damn.
We would take a dinner break and go to do 2 sets.
Yeah.
But that's also how powerful and good Etta was.
Uh-huh.
She could hold a crowd like nobody's business and take you on a journey, an emotional journey. You'd be laughing, you'd be crying, you'd be dancing. She got you through the whole spectrum of emotions. Just a singular performer.
Yeah.
So, and then soon after that, we were in vans. Yes. I was doing my own guitar teching for the first couple of years.
Yeah.
And, it was sort of like, a little band of renegades. And then we got a really good, solid band.
Okay.
Really, really good guys I hired.
Uh-huh.
And then I was using a super reverb and the same gold top.
Okay.
And that was my rig, yeah.
Yeah. How did you get hooked up with Johnny Holiday?
Oh, that's crazy. Many years later, I had written a big hit for Smokey Robinson.
Okay.
And had played with Rita Coolidge for some time.
Uh-huh.
I just got on the radar of this French cat named Philippe Hall, who was a liaison between French artists and American musicians.
Okay.
French artists then wanted to use American musicians for some reason. I think we represent something that they, look up to, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough to get an audition for a woman named Mylène Farmer. She's sort of like Madonna meets Lady Gaga, but all in French. Very cutting edge, very deep lyrical content with a huge following. And both Abe Laboriel Jr. from Paul's band and I, separately, independent of each other, not knowing each other, got auditions for this Mylène Farmer, and that's where we first met. He got the drum gig, I got the guitar gig on separate days. Then we all meet when the band's put together, and we went on tour. Well, that led into auditions for Johnny Halliday. The same guy did it, but we had to audition all over again because it's opposite kind of music.
Sure.
Now, Johnny Halliday, of course, is the French Elvis.
Yeah.
So they really want American rock, and Mylène wasn't rock.
Yeah.
So they need to hear us all over again. So we did it all over again and show up in the room, and there's Abe again. We both won our auditions, and that turned into about 4 or 5 years solid with Johnny, and a great friendship with Abe, who I treasure as a friend.
Of course, yeah.
And then, that led into, a fantastic opportunity to put my name forward for Paul McCartney.
Yeah. and get chosen. Was it like a cattle call kind of thing, or did you have the gig right out of the gate?
For Paul, what happened is Abe was at a birthday party of mine, and I had heard he had just done Paul's record, Driving Rain, 2001. And he's at my party. I go, hey, Abe, are you guys going to go out? Man, I'm so happy for you. This is crazy. You're going to go out on tour? And he said, well, we're probably going to do one song coming up on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's cool. Well, who's going to play bass when he's playing guitar and piano and then switch to guitar when he's on bass? And he goes, well, we're looking for a guitar player who plays a bit of bass. And my hand shot up.
Yeah.
And before I knew what I was doing, I said, I'd love a shot at that. And he put my name forward to David Kahn, who had produced Driving Rain.
Okay.
And David called me like the day later and said, hey, would you be willing to meet me and, see if you're a good fit for one song with Paul at the Super Bowl 2002? And I said, yes, I'd love to meet you. And went down there. It was just David Kahn and I. And, there were other people being considered. It wasn't up to David, but he said, I'll put your name forward and good luck. We'll see what happens. I get a call the next day saying, can you be on a plane to New Orleans the following day? So it all happened very fast.
Wow.
And of course, my answer was yes to all of it. Yeah. And here I am 23 years later.
Very cool. Was Rusty already in the band?
Yeah, so Rusty and Abe had both been hired for Driving Rain.
Okay. All right.
And a different keyboard player was going to be in Paul's band named Gabe Dixon, who was also on that album.
Okay.
I think that Paul thought this was an easy way to go. Who knows how many dates I'm going to want to do. These guys already, I'm comfortable with them, start fresh. And so they did, and I was the next guy called.
Yeah. You mentioned writing a song for Smokey Robinson. Had you always been writing songs all along?
Yeah, ever since I was a kid, I was writing songs. Not always good songs, but I was always writing songs. Even in my high school band, my junior high band.
Okay.
My songs had a lot to do with being anti-police.
Okay.
When you're a little kid,
Yeah.
you feel like you're outrunning the law. It's a cool thing to be.
Yeah.
So we had a song called Officer and Sergeant. Like, I don't know why. But shooting forward, it was about 1983, 4, and I got the idea in my head that I wanted to start staying home instead of touring.
Okay.
And write songs for a living if I could. I met a guy and we became daily songwriting partners and just approached it like it was a job.
Okay.
And long story, but we got a great opportunity to submit a song for Smokey Robinson, and surprise of surprises, he loved it and said, we would love to cut this on Thursday. Bring all of your gear and your demo stuff, because we're going to cut your demo with Smokey's voice on it. So
wow.
I have an arrangement credit and a co-writing, and there it is, One Heartbeat, and an album title.
Yeah. And
very, very proud of that.
Was it a payday for you?
Yeah, it certainly was, because it was a tri-format hit. It's received over 4 million airplays now,
wow.
which is an astounding thing. So I still get paid, but those first couple of years were like mind-blowing. Yeah, for sure.
Was that the biggest money you'd seen up to that point?
Oh, yeah. By far.
Yeah.
That mailbox money, you're going like, oh, my God, And then, I wanted to continue doing that, and we continued to submit songs for various artists. In the 80s, it was very common to write and submit songs, and, Tina Turner or Rod Stewart or whoever, Paul Young or whatever. So we tried, and we got a couple cool covers. But nothing like the One Heartbeat smash. And then an opportunity came up to tour again with Rita Coolidge, and it was the next thing to do, and so I said yes.
Yeah. And all this whole time, had you been also touring with Etta still?
I had been touring with Etta until about '88 when the Smokey song became huge.
Okay.
Because I calculated that I had moved into a new career path.
Yeah.
And I've been with Etta for 14 years now. So I was ready to go try some different stuff. And I stopped playing with her live about '89. But we continued to write together and work together and appear on each other's records. She's on my first solo album on a song called Soft Machine, and she kills it. It's amazing. And then I recorded on her records.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And was there a point when you started collecting guitars?
Yeah, like from day one.
Oh, okay.
that first one, the Telecaster, I used to go, as I said, down to all those shops in Santa Monica. I would tour the whole shop every Saturday. I mean, all the shops. It was like 5 music stores, pawn shops and music stores. And I would just gawk at these instruments. I was 13 years old, 12 years old. I just couldn't get enough of it. Yeah.
And today, so when you're on tour, do you seek out guitars in music stores, or?
Not as much as some guys do. Funny enough, I mean, my weakness is Instagram. I follow all these guitar guys, and I'll see a guitar, and if it's something that really tickles my fancy, I'll jump on it immediately. And that's how it's happening more than ever. But guys like my friend Joe Bonamassa,
sure,
really integrate their guitar safari activity into the tour. They kind of plan it and work it. And people come his way and go to his shows and bring guitars down. He's got a good thing going.
Yeah. And how often do you what does your guitar collection look like for the tour, for the Paul McCartney tour?
Oh, it's not so much a collection. This is my working stable. So I probably have 11 guitars out with me.
Okay.
And it's 4 of them or 5 are acoustics because they're backups to each other too.
Yeah.
And then about 5 electrics and a sitar and a couple basses. So maybe more like 12.
The electric sitar, the sitar guitar?
Yeah, the Jerry Jones.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
It's a great instrument.
Yeah.
If they're set up right, it's a great instrument.
Yeah.
And who do you use to set up your gear?
Well, there's a guy in town in Santa Monica that I've been going to for years named Pharaoh at True Tone Guitars.
Okay.
True Tone Music.
Yeah, of course.
In Santa Monica. Lovely, lovely local shop. Great people, great staff in there. And also Paul Flynn, who is co-owner of that shop.
Okay.
He had been doing my guitars long before. And then my current guitar tech is very good at this stuff. His name is Ryan Bullington.
Okay.
And he came to us to tour with me, courtesy of the Rolling Stones, where he'd been working previously. And he's very good, technically adept, and a great player as well.
Yeah. Very cool. And what about amps? What are you using for amps on stage?
I'm using a divided by 13 signature model amp called a BTR 23, which is a 23 watt tough little guy, and very loud 23 watts. I have it down to 3. It's quite low, and it kind of I guess it's kind of like an early Marshall Plexi, but it's new and hand wired and isn't gonna blow up on you.
Exactly.
It's got KT66 tubes and a very usable master volume.
Okay. And what's the volume like on stage? Like when you guys are playing?
It's substantial, but not frightening. I mean, Rusty's playing through a 9 or 15 watt head.
Okay.
And Paul is substantial. He's playing through a AC 50 or AC 100 custom amp, and boogie bass amps, bass and boogie. So substantial, but we're not terrifyingly loud. I think we used to be louder.
Yeah. Okay. But it's not a quiet stage like some of the artists are using now.
Oh no.
Yeah. And
no,
are you guys using wedges or in-ears?
Well, different combination. The front line is all on wedges. The back line, Wix is on in-ears, and Abe is on filters.
Okay.
So I use filters, like plugs that are custom made.
Yeah.
And none of us are really using in-ears except Wix.
Okay.
And the horns. The horns are using in-ears.
Okay. All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have an amp collection at home?
Oh, yes. I have a weakness for amps, too, and that's got to stop. I think that my amps have gotten smaller and a little lighter as I've been less willing to carry around big ones. And you know what? Nobody wants to hear a 100-watt head anymore.
No, unfortunately not. Anything's particular? Like anything stand out? Like is it all Fender heavy, or is it a bunch of different things?
It's basically Fenders and Marshalls with a couple of Watkins thrown in there.
Okay.
My most recent amp acquisitions are a Mint 53 wide panel deluxe.
Yeah.
A beautiful TV front Princeton.
Wow.
You know, cool little amps. A 58 super amp with the 6 V6 tube configuration, a 1950 super amp with the V front.
Yeah,
that's really, really great.
Yeah, of course.
And some plexis and various things like that.
Yeah. And how do you have yourself a burst or something close?
I do have a burst. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. You know, they were out of my reach for most of my life and career, and I'd always like pine for one. It was just over there, and I got a really good deal in a moment of weakness, and I got that at True Tone Music. Yeah,
all right, on.
Actually, a beautiful sort of mint 59 in crazy condition with lots of figuring, lots of flame.
Yeah. And anything else? Like, do you have old Strats as well, or?
I have a couple old Strats. I'm more of a tele guy. You know, what I got interested in were custom telecasters.
Sure.
Double bound telecasters.
Yeah.
In custom colors.
Oh my God!
So I have wacky ones. I have a factory black custom telecaster with double binding.
Oh my God!
I have a factory Fiesta red custom telecaster with double binding. I have a 61 Fender telecaster, not bound in Fiesta red. That's almost more rare.
Yeah.
And a beautiful Strat Fiesta red with gold hardware from '62.
Oh my God!
So those are some of my more recent purchases. Yeah.
And how often do you buy guitars? Like, I mean, do you ever thin the herd?
I do thin the herd. I've actually been selling more than buying.
Okay. And when you sell, where do you sell?
Kind of private party. You know, people who know my stuff and find me like I find them.
Yeah.
You know. And if somebody really wants something I have, if it's not one of my 10 life keeper guitars, I'm willing to talk.
Sure. Okay, so what are the 10? What are the 10 guitars? I'm not going to take too much more of your
That's
time.
a good question. Very good. Of course, my 57 gold top.
Yeah.
I very nearly sold in the 90s when I was kind of broke.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad I didn't.
Sure.
So that's one. Then it would be, let's see, my 56 Strat refinished in candy apple red for some crazy reason. I don't know what I was thinking in the 70s. And let's see here. It would be my custom telecasters, the ones I just talked about. Those are awfully good keepers. My 59 Gretsch double anniversary that I played with Paul since the beginning.
Okay.
My Fiesta Red 63 P bass.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, a couple of others like that. Those are my, and I just got a stunning 1958 J45.
Oh, wow.
That it's one of the most lovely sounding and looking guitars I've ever owned.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some of my keepers.
Yeah.
And I have a beautiful 52 Telecaster that's in mint condition. So a Blackguard.
Yeah.
Got to have one of those.
Okay, just a few more questions. So
Yeah.
You mentioned this, seeing guitar stuff on Instagram. Do you watch YouTube videos at all?
Not too much, funny enough.
Okay, all right, that's a fair answer.
Yeah.
And the Earls, are you gonna actually play dates, do you think?
There's no word on that, but a lot of people want us to, and it sure would be a party.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we have a good time together, and the new single, you hear Steve and I trading guitar solos
Yes, exactly.
in real time,
Yeah.
in one take. We didn't go fix it or change it. It's just us two looking at each other in a room.
Right on.
And, shooting from the hip.
Yeah, yeah.
So, that kind of, fire, you can really only capture when you're together. You don't do that over the interwebs, you do that when you're together. So you never know, that would be fun.
Yeah, there's 4 songs right now that I saw on the different media channels. Is it a full album that's going to come out?
We don't have a full album planned, but likely more singles. We'll see what happens, man.
And what about your own solo band? Are you going to do anything with that coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I just had an album out last summer called My Town, which is a sort of collection of singles plus 4 brand new songs, and that did well. And that leading up to that was 7 years of singles.
Wow.
Something like that. I started at Wicked Cool in 2017, and I was on Underground Garage for 5 years before that with the Bayonet. So just one thing after another, and so glad to have Little Steven's support and the Underground Garage's support.
Yeah. Well, and so we've talked a lot about guitars. Do you collect cars as well, or do you have?
I used to, but I've sold most of those, and I felt like I had my wonderful time with some cool vintage guitars and some cool vintage cars. I'll keep the guitars. They're easier. The guitars, they're easier to store.
Yeah.
And I've let the cars go. And now I just have a driver and one classic, and that's about it.
What is the
classic? It's a 1966 Pontiac Catalina 2+2.
Oh man!
With 4-speed and a 421.
Oh my God!
So it's a rip snorting banker's hot rod.
Yeah. Do you take it to a track so you can light it up?
No, not really, but I'll take it out. There's that stays out in Palm Springs, and there's a lot of classic cars there,
Sure.
And people who love them.
Yeah.
So I'm a member of a car club out there, and we do car shows and meetups and stuff like that. It's more like that. It's more like cruise around town and with other classic car enthusiasts. It's just sort of a nerdy thing I like.
Yeah, there's nothing nerdy about that.
It takes me back to my roots.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Glendale, and I can't get that out of my bloodstream. It's what I was raised around. It's what I was in awe of as an 8-year-old kid.
Sure.
Well, as a 5-year-old kid.
It's like monster movies.
Yeah.
Monster movies and wrestling and all the stuff we used to see on TV when we were kids.
Right. Gorgeous George. And
yes.
All of them.
Haystack Calhoun. The whole. And roller derby. You can't leave out roller derby.
It's still hot.
Yeah. Well, it's been an honor to speak with you. I really appreciate you giving me your time.
Thank you so much, James. It was a hoot.
Yeah, no, I hope I get the opportunity to meet you in person at some point.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, thank you very much.
My pleasure, James.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Have Guitar Will Travel. You can catch up on all the things I'm doing at thedeadlies.com, and I'm on all the social media platforms as well. And please support Vintage Guitar and all the wonderful things they do, because they do many, many wonderful things for us guitar players. Thanks. Please subscribe. Please tell a friend, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.